In this section, we need to learn about using a function in the calculator called onePropZint that will help us come up with the confidence interval for a population proportion. Now, the function is located under the Stat button, and then slide over to get to the Tests submenu. Now, there's lots of different functions with the word test at the end. We want to skip past all of those, and we're looking for something to create a confidence interval, so it should say int or interval that we want. So just come down to where we find onePropZint, and when you click that, it will open up a menu and tell you what inputs it needs in order to run this particular function. Now, I have an example problem we'll work through so you can see how this is done. In this example, we have a sample of 385 online consumers were surveyed, and of those, 296 indicated that they never purchase an item online with fewer than a 4-star rating out of 5 stars. Find the 95% confidence interval for the population proportion of all online consumers who never purchase an item rated with fewer than 4 stars. Okay, so the 3 inputs here, they're pretty straightforward. Starting with sea level, that's going to be the level of confidence we want, and so that's usually just given straight out in the problem as a percentage. But make sure you type it in as a decimal value, so 0.95. N is your sample size, and of the 2 numbers remaining, n is going to be the bigger one of the 2, because you can't have a, x is the number of items out of your sample that favor your event, and there's no way that that could be logically bigger than n. So here we have 385 consumers surveyed, and of those, 296 indicated that they never purchase anything with fewer than 4 stars. Now that we've got the information in, just press calculate, and it will come up with the endpoints of our confidence interval for us. In this case, it's 0.727 and 0.811. Now, one thing I'd like to mention is sometimes you might run into an example where you get an error message. The types of places where you could get errors here. Let me go back into the function. So first off, if you accidentally put a value of x larger than n, you'll get an error message then. So if I hit calculate now, we get a domain error. So it just is telling me that there's something wrong with the input to my functions. Another place where we could get a type of error is, let me change this back to the correct value, but suppose this question was changed slightly to where it says that 72% indicate they never purchase an item online with fewer than 4-star rating. Well, 72% of 385, we can calculate that, and actually I can just type it in right here and just say 0.72 of 385 and come up with a value there. But the thing is, I come up with 277.2. If I try to use onePropZint with that, I still get a domain error. And the reason is it doesn't like the use of decimal values for the values of x or n. So if you are given a problem where you have a percentage for x and you need to convert that, just make sure you convert it, but then also round it to the nearest integer, and then it will be happy and give you an answer.